All right, so I'm here with Senior, and we are talking about what we're doing to get ready for the debut of Orange County Choppers Roadhouse and Museum. We've just got a bunch of the bikes coming in from New York, and we're unloading some more today. And I thought we'd sit here and maybe talk and maybe reminisce a little bit about some of these bikes. Tell me about the Christmas bike.
The Christmas bike, my favorite. This is really, some people make fun of it, but I think it's the coolest bike that we did. You know, this is all welded. These are like pipes welded, and so the guy that worked for me did a nice job. But you know what was nice about it is, you know, it was Christmas. So he said, what are we gonna do for Christmas? Let's make a Christmas bike, you know? And we went to town, and it's funny because the other guys were building a bike for a company, Miller, big company.
Oh, yeah.
So they were upstairs making fun of us because we were building this bike. Yeah, but you know, I'm in the ornamental business, so if you look at the skis and, you know, everything, there's a lot of ornamental stuff on there. And there's a lot of good memories to this bike. You know, for the 9/11, they brought kids up from the city, and they were in a firehouse by us. And I got dressed up as Santa, and Mikey got dressed up as an elk. And he was on the back, and I was driving, and we drove into where those kids were.
Right.
And it actually started snowing when we were riding over there. So it was.
Were you pulling the sleigh?
No,
Okay.
no, that was a different time.
Okay.
But yeah, there's a lot of good memories to this bike. And Rick was involved with this bike. The guy had Mike Campo, was talented, and it was fun. It was fun doing it. There was a shot where Mikey kept bothering me, like just kept trying to swat him off. And what he did was he had a little Christmas tree.
Yeah.
And so I was getting pissed off at him, like, just leave me the fuck alone, you know? And I look up, and he has a picture of me cut out as the star, instead of the star on the top, it was me. So it was fun.
Did you build the sleigh too?
Yeah, the following year.
Okay.
The following year we built this, and
because this has got some nice work on it too.
this is I mean, there's a lot of sheet metal work in this.
Yeah.
And I had iron shop still, so you know, a lot of it we had press brakes and shears, and so it was it made it easier, but it's still fabrication, you know. And so between this and that, you know, they're a pair, you know. And,
yeah.
Some
cool touches.
It's a good feel. That's all it is. You know, it's a good feel.
Some cool touches on this one too. The Santa's little welders on front, you know, and then the OCC logo on the back with the sleigh flying. It's really cool.
It was fun. It was fun.
What about the space shuttle bike?
That was built for the space shuttle, and this is another bike they never paid us for. So, but you know what? I'm kind of glad in a sense. You know what I mean? This way, I kind of like having the bike. You know what I mean? I like having the bike because, well, you know, now you could display it and everybody could see it. You know, and it'll probably get, you know, they buy and they put it off somewhere in a closet or whatever they'll do, and it'll never be seen. So, and I think it's a cool bike.
Tell me about the
cool
space shuttles on the wheel here. This is cool with the paint and the spinners.
Well, you know, we just did that all in design, like what would be cool, what to incorporate in this bike. And if you look at it, you know, you got the gas tank there. It's just if you really look at it, the front down tube. There's a lot of work put into that bike. You know, I like the bike, I really do. You know what I mean? It's kind of odd bike, but I think it's a cool bike.
It's definitely fun.
It's a cool bike.
I mean, it definitely captures the spirit. I mean, I like the inscription on the down tube, which was really cool.
Good fabrication in there, you know.
I mean, it's you know, that's the cool thing I like about all your bikes too, is they're really tactile. It's like there's a lot of different, you know, components and a lot of different textures and a lot of different just cool things that, you know, you see it on TV.
Yeah, that down tube is really cool if you look at it.
I mean, you see it on TV and it's like, oh, that's a great bike, but when you're actually in front of it, yeah, you don't see the detail and you don't get to feel the detail. Like this bike is sharp dangerous.
Yeah, it is.
And the Aragon bike too.
Oh yeah.
But it's like, but you know, you wouldn't get that from seeing on TV.
The Aragon bike will really hurt you.
Oh yeah.
One of my favorite bikes though.
Yeah, another good one. So we'll transition to that one. So this one was the Dream Chopper, and I know this was kind of This was like the
Which
kind of
one?
the green one.
Yeah.
So that was like the culmination of the web bike series, right?
Yes, it was. Yeah, we already had done this. We did a Spider-Man bike, which wasn't on the show, and then we did the Black Widow, which is a web bike, and then we just decided let's do another web bike, and then it was the cool thing about it is that the gas tank is on the fender.
Right.
So it's a small gas tank, but you don't see. All you see is webs. So it's a cool bike. We used fat tires back then. I'm not a big fat tire guy, but that's what was in. So we used a lot of them. And this bike, of course, is
How
the fireman
far are you
bike.
going to get on that?
Not far, and you're not getting far on that seat.
Right.
You're not getting too far on that
I sat
seat.
on that when I unloaded it.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. Now this is definitely a work of art to be displayed.
Yeah,
not a rider for sure.
Not at all. No.
Now the fire bike, I mean that one everybody knows this bike.
Yeah. I mean, and that was like a decision. We had the 911 issue there, and we kind of said, what can we do to contribute to the cause? And then we said, let's do a bike, and it wound up being the most. This bike was known. I mean, every fireman in the world respects this bike and what we did for it. And we have patches. People come from all around the world, T-shirts and helmets. The space you have in here is not enough. Maybe in there and out here is maybe enough space for the patches.
Well, and I'm glad you brought that up because I got that 6 boxes of patches that you guys sent.
There should be more coming. I'm sending down a trailer, and it's another 5 or 6 boxes.
That's perfect
because
we're literally going to have like 120 feet by like 12 feet tall for patches.
Yeah, it'll be.
It's going to be massive.
And people that were firemen and military, because we're big with military too, will so appreciate that. And it'd be nice to get some of the patches of people that serve down here and firemen down there. They'll keep adding to the wall, which would be really cool.
Yeah, we're really looking forward to carrying that tradition on. Speaking of traditions and bikes and some things that have significance, I mean, the POW MIA bike, that's a heavy one.
Yeah, and this was something that I felt personally that we should tribute to POW. I was in Vietnam, and that was a war where I felt that there was no recognition, and I felt that the way that they treated the veterans back then was not really good. So I did this for that particular reason, and again, it was so appreciative, and I got the wall back there. And
so yeah, tell me about the names on the fender.
Yeah, when we went down to the wall, some of them are actually people that were working for me, where some of them were uncles or aunts or brothers or fathers that our names are on that fender. But yeah, they were on the wall.
You're right,
in Washington,
the Vietnam Memorial Wall.
Yeah, and thought that would be a really nice touch. It runs all the way down. So there's it's when you're doing something that when you really know it's heartfelt, it's always the best bikes.
Right.
Always the best bikes, because when they're done, and when you have people that were in the war and they come over, we unveil the bike to them. They're so appreciative of it. It's just a good thing. This bike will hurt.
One sec.
Yeah, go ahead.
Before we go back, one of the things that I like and I could be wrong, but this bike looks like it would actually be a pretty good rider.
It rides good.
Because it's got short trail, it's not raked out.
It rides. It really easy to ride. It's a nice riding bike, and I've rode it quite a bit. Yeah, it really is a nice riding bike.
Yeah, it just looks like it is, just from the design.
Is.
Plus, I love, the spokes too are so cool.
The barbed wire.
All right, so the Aragon bike.
The Aragon bike is definitely detrimental.
Yeah, it'll get you.
But personally, I think this is I think it's one of the nicest looking bikes that we did. And when you look at the down tube, it was built for the movie Aragon, which was, I don't know if you remember that movie. Yeah. So that's where this came about. But you know, there's so much.
How many knives do you think are on this bike? I mean, you got them everywhere. I know there's some up here and on each wheel.
Yeah, it'll hurt you, you know. But they got the stars up here, the throwing, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's everything. The mesh,
the chainmail on
yeah.
So you guys went to a
dragon tail.
You guys went to a Renaissance fair, didn't you?
Yeah, we did.
How was that?
It was good.
What do you think of Renaissance fair?
I thought it was good. I was there a couple times before, but we had a good time there. You know,
nice.
Got to throw knives and axe and get on the horses and stuff like that. It was you know, all those things are an experience that you know, one time in a lifetime experiences. You know, and this here was
the Comanche bike.
Comanche, which was the helicopter.
That was season 1, right? On
American Chopper. I can't remember.
I think it was American Chopper season 1, but yeah.
But and that Comanche was kind of a new style helicopter. I don't know if they make them anymore, but it was pretty, like, it did a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did a lot of stuff, so it was cool. And this thing we did for a build-off, which was kind of like we knew we weren't going to win it anyhow, you know.
So you might as well do fun.
So we might as well do something totally different. But what's in this here thing, none of those guys could do.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people can do what's incorporated in this. But I mean, it's just
flamethrowers alone.
It'll throw 20 feet of flame.
Yeah.
You know? And it rides like a dozer. You know what I mean? You got
skid steer.
You got to yeah. And that, it's like when you lay down on that, you hit a button and the thing, it'll go up.
Oh, it's got pneumatics in it?
Yeah, it'll go up so that, you know, you're already standing up.
So if I'm down here.
Yep. The whole seat will lift up.
Really?
And you know, if you want to go right, you have to do. It's not easy to ride. I rode it in Vegas, out on the road there. It wasn't easy. So there's a big lithium battery in there, like huge, you know.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of ingenuity in this thing if you look at it. But I think it's cooler than shit.
Well, anytime you make a tracked vehicle,
yeah,
there's a lot of engineering that goes into it. So that's definitely cool.
These were snowmobile tracks we used.
Matte tracks, I think, right?
Well,
or not.
They were actually optional. You can put them on a snowmobile.
Oh, okay.
They sold them as a kit.
Gotcha.
And that's what we put on there. But, you know, listen, I had smart people that were able to do this, you know. And this here bike is one of my favorite too. David Mann did all the Easy Riders since the 70s. He did all the they were like, I guess you might say like back in the 60s and stuff, you know, the guys with the
long beards and I'm familiar with that.
Yeah, he did a lot of in that magazine. He would do really cool bikes, and he was dying. He asked us to do a bike before he died.
Okay.
So this is the bike that we did, but he died before he never got to see it.
Oh, man.
But like for me, that's my style bike.
Well, it looks like another good rider.
You could ride that, yeah. This here is a good rider.
Is it?
I rode the hell out of this bike. That's got a 131-inch motor in it.
I was just saying, were you ever glad you had the wheelie bar on it?
Yeah, you never really used that, but it was a good running bike. And you know, this was like I thought this was our first pilot, first pilot. So this thing has been around, and you know, as far as I'm concerned, it's a big value seeing that was kept. You know what I mean? I kept that since day one. So that's like 20 years ago, and that's where it started. So, you know, and my father-in-law was in the Air Force, and we decided to do it kind of for him, you know. And so I think that was the beginning of the theme era.
Right.
You know, and then every bike that we did was really a theme bike, which
took off from there.
Which took off, yeah. You know, nobody was doing it, and you know, we did it for all the big corporations, and so you know, it worked out. It worked out good. It worked out good.
I know a lot of the bikes that you've built have been corporate build bikes. You know, a lot
for
of
big
corporate, big companies.
HP. I mean, you name a company, and I guarantee you, we did it. Every huge Schneider Electric, just I can go on and on and on.
Matco.
Everybody. Yeah. I mean, all huge.
GoDaddy.
GoDaddy.
I remember the GoDaddy bike.
And we did 2 Super Bowls with them. We did HP. We did Super Bowl #1. It was the #1 Super Bowl. What else did we do? We did like 4 Super Bowl commercials.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's been a bunch of them. I think that now that transitioning to Florida, I mean, I think that corporate bikes are still going to be cool if we get the chance to continue doing those. But I think it's going to give you a lot of freedom to really take on some passion projects that, sure, there's some money there, but definitely something that that you're just as passionate about as far as your
Absolutely.
interests. I mean,
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
These theme bikes, they had their time.
Right.
You know what I mean? And the fat tire bikes had their time. You know what I mean? It's gone. There's no more fat tire bikes. Or very little. And I've never owned a fat tire bike. Me personally, I've always owned choppers with 16-inch wheels, always from day one. So that kind of bike, style bike, is coming around again. But people are really doing some nice fab on those bikes. So I'm looking forward to doing that. And it's not that I would never do a theme bike again. I would. It would probably be a little bit different, but I would represent a company building a bike.
Sure.
But I just think that being in Florida as a whole, it's going to be a whole different chapter, a whole different direction. You know what I mean? Everything's new, fresh, and we just finished moving out of our building day before yesterday, which took about 2 months to do. It was really tough. But, I thought I'd be sad moving out there and moving out of the building, and I was, but I'm just not, I'm ready for...
You're ready for the next chapter?
I'm ready for that. I'm not, I'm done. It was a great run, but kind of done, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
72 now, I want to do what I want to do, you know what I mean? And
cool bikes
and
farm stuff.
Yeah, farm stuff, and I have a much better audience down here than I do in New York. Like the people down here are real deal, I think, and they're true fans, and they're all bikers. So I think that that's a big difference too. New York, you can only ride, 3 months a year, maybe that, and there's just not the amount of bikes that are here is so far greater than New York. So, which is a good, that's a great thing for me too.
Yeah. More in the Tampa Bay area. I think we've got more motorcycle registrations per capita than anywhere else in the country.
And then I'm right here with Harley Bert's Barracuda. That doesn't hurt.
No, Bert's an awesome guy to share space with.
Yeah, and the restaurant and the retail, and being able to do a museum and display all my stuff that I've had in the last 20 years, and I've kept it all. I think that's going to be a big treat for people. They even in my other shop, they come from anywhere around, all over the world, to see the bikes and the different merchandise and memorabilia. So I think it's going to be this is going to be a destination. Guaranteed, this will be a world destination.
Well, and you'll be here working anyway. So you're going to be building bikes right near here.
Yeah.
And we're going to have the office right here. So it's going to be awesome.
Good.